Do you choose the pain of wrong company over the silence of solitude? This question cuts deep, like a scalpel to the soul, revealing your most intimate escape. You cling to bonds that suffocate you, to connections that diminish you, to any presence that silences your own void. Why? Because you were taught to fear being alone, as if it were a sentence, a trial to be avoided at all costs. From an early age, we were programmed to seek completeness in another, the romantic ideal, unconditional friendship, external validation, a relentless quest for an echo that tells us we exist. But what happens when this echo becomes a prison? When the need for company blinds you to toxicity, to abuse, to the slow erosion of your own identity? Viktor Frankl said, "Between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response." But the fear of loneliness, it hijacks that space, propels you into automatic reactions, to accept the unacceptable, to settle for emotional crumbs, because the alternative, the confrontation with your own self, seems even more terrifying. If you've ever found yourself in this trap, bound to relationships that hurt you, just to avoid facing the mirror of your own company, this video is a call, a brutal awakening to the truth you've been avoiding. Ready to break this chain? You weren't born afraid of being alone. It was engineered into you, like silent code. From the first, you need friends. From the first, find your soulmate. Society programmed you to believe completeness comes from outside, that happiness is a pair, and that silence is a void to be filled. This is behavioral engineering at play, transforming your natural need for connection into a dependency on external approval. You learn to camouflage your discomfort with your own company, with a frantic social life, with endless consumption, with a relentless pursuit of external validation. This is the loss aversion bias in its cruelest form, the fear of losing a companion. Even if that companion destroys you, it becomes greater than the pain of losing yourself. Think about investments. How often have you stayed in something toxic, a job, a business, because the fear of leaving, of being empty-handed, was more terrifying than the certainty of ruin? The same applies to your relationships. You were indoctrinated to believe solitude is a flaw, proof that you are unloved or unwanted, and this lie keeps you from facing the truth, that your own company is your first and most vital safe harbor, not a prison, but a sanctuary. If this programming has captured you, type in the comments, "I question my companionship programming." You broke yourself to fit in, to avoid being alone. Every forced yes, every truth swallowed, created a crack, your soul fragmented. The shadow, as Carl Jung warned us, isn't the dark side you possess. It's the dark side you hide. That fear of rejection, of not being enough, of being abandoned. It manifests in repetitive patterns, in choices that seem yours, but are dictated by old wounds. You self-sabotage, not because you want to fail, but because unconsciously, loneliness was associated with such profound pain that any company, no matter how toxic, becomes a safe haven, even if it's on fire. The social mask you wear, the persona that pleases everyone, it's heavy, drains your vital energy, distances you from who you truly are, and ironically, leaves you even more alone, because no one knows your true essence. No one can love what you refuse to show. This internal fragmentation is the price of your escape from solitude, the cost of not facing yourself. How much of your relationships are a projection, a mirror of your need, not your truth? If you felt this pain, type in the comments, "I see my cracks," or pause this video and write down this phrase. The escape from loneliness is the prison of the soul. You're trying to fill a hole, a nameless void, and you were told the solution was connection. The dopamine hit from social media, the endless validation of likes, the illusion that always being with someone means happiness. This is false freedom. The freedom to choose among millions of faces. but never the freedom to be at peace with yourself. It's the prison of a system that turns your longing into consumption, into products, into experiences sold as completeness. The market knows your fear of being alone. It capitalizes on your disguised loneliness. How often have you bought something, or invested in something, not out of necessity, but to fill a space, to feel like you belong, to attract someone? This is behavioral finance in action. Your economic decisions held hostage by your emotional fragilities. You pile on emotional debt in relationships that are pure cost, because the price of being alone seems too high. Daniel Kahneman taught us about anchoring bias. Your mind is anchored to the idea that happiness comes from outside, that loneliness is a defect, and this anchor holds you down, prevents you from sailing into your own depths. You're not deciding, you're reacting to fear, to propaganda, to the invisible pressure of a society that hates silence. If this part resonated with you, comment here. I don't want to trade freedom for anesthesia anymore. Rupture isn't an event, it's a process. It begins when you allow yourself to feel the discomfort of solitude, the pain of the wounds that made you flee, not to be a victim, but to witness. The first step to authentic reconstruction is the courage to be alone, to stop seeking external fulfillment for an internal void. It's a dive into silence, where the voices of fear, of longing, begin to quiet, and your own voice, your intuition, starts to emerge. Jordan Peterson speaks about the need to confront chaos. Solitude is your primal chaos. It's there that you find true order, your own. Without the distortion of others' gaze, you'll feel the discomfort, the withdrawal from social dopamine, the urge to seek someone, something, to alleviate the tension, resist, remain. In this space, you begin to differentiate what's yours and what was programmed. This is true disobedience. Disobeying the narrative that trapped you, disobeying the craving that sabotaged you. And, in this act of internal rebellion, you begin to redefine yourself without anyone's validation. This is true freedom, a freedom that can't be bought, can't be given. It's conquered in the silence of your own presence. If you feel this is the moment to break free from old programming, type in the comments, "The craving programming ends with me," or send this video to someone who desperately needs to find themselves in their own emptiness. You are not what they programmed you to be. You are what remains. After facing your own void, the fear of loneliness is the fear of finding yourself. But what do you find there? A strength that doesn't depend on validation, a peace that cannot be bought, a freedom that is priceless. This is true wealth, the ability to be your own haven, your own home, to not compromise your integrity for an empty comfort. It's about breaking the cycle, about recognizing the urge to flee, and still remaining in the silence, in the presence. This is the hardest freedom, the one no one teaches you, the one that comes not with applause, but with a profound silence, with unwavering integrity, with an acceptance that transcends all craving. If something awakened in you in this video, comment, "I see beyond the veil of companionship." Share this content with anyone who needs to break free from the fear of being alone. And if you want to keep breaking cycles with me, subscribe now. The shadow you avoid controls you. Freedom only frightens until you discover you were ready all along. Rupture is the beginning. Consciousness is the path to yourself.